everyone. I have a super great runner project for you today featuring this beautiful collection called Color Me Pretty, designed by my friend Stephanie Organes for Andover. Let me show you how to make this. Alright, so this runner is super fun because it's just made up of 3 big blocks, just like this one. And in order to make it, you are going to need 1 package of 5-inch print squares. And like I said, I used Color Me Pretty by Stephanie Organes for Andover Fabrics. You're also going to need 2/3 of a yard of your background fabric, 1.5 yards of your backing, and 3/8 of a yard for your binding. So let's go ahead and get started with making this. So I wanted all of my blocks to still have lots of contrast. So what I did is I went into my package of 5-inch squares and I pulled out some colors for the different sections. So up first I have this guy here for the middle of my block, and then I'm going to have 1 for my star legs and 1 for kind of these outside flying geese. And then the rest is going to make up these 9 patches in the corners. And so I picked these 3 colors. And so I have 2 of each of these, 2 of each of these, and the 1 for my middle. And so this is what I'm going to need from my prints to make 1 block. So now let's go ahead and start by trimming up our center square. And we're just going to cut a 1/2 inch off of 2 sides to trim this down to 4.5 inches. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then this can just be set aside and it is good to go. And then from our colors that we chose for our star legs and our outside, we are going to stack these up, and I'm going to cut them in half in both directions so that I get a bunch of 2.5-inch squares. So I just want to make sure I have it all lined up, and I can just cut and cut. There we go. And then I am going to go ahead and separate out my colors and make little piles just to make it easier for myself. So I have those ready to go. And then I'm going to pair that up with a background strip that measures 2.5 by 6.5. And so we are going to actually need 8 of these for each block. And how this is going to go is we are going to take 2 on one side of one color and 2 on the other side. And then we are going to draw a line corner to corner. And within the same strip, these are going to run the same direction, but we need half of them going one way and half going the other. So I've got one little pile that I'll make here. Oops, make sure I'm going corner to corner. There we go. And then the other ones are going to go the opposite direction, corner to corner. So you're just making 4 strip sets like this one way and 4 the other. And then now we can take this to the sewing machine, and when you have 4 at a time, you can chain piece one after the other and just sew right on that line. Okay, I have finished chain piecing this entire set, and you can see I started here and just went point to point all the way down on these darker pink, and then came back and went point to point on my second ones. And so then now I can trim these apart. I already did the set going the other way, because remember, you're looking for opposite directions here. And so we can go through and trim off all of our excess, leaving our 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then we can press these. Whoops, didn't get all the way to the end there. And one more. Okay. All right, so now let's take this over to the iron and press these open. We'll just roll those back. One after the other. One more. Okay, beautiful. Now I have all of those ready to go. And here is our set going in the opposite direction. And so one thing I want you to keep in mind is you can kind of decide at this point which one of these colors you want to be your star leg. And so I really like this dark pink. I think it'll pop in the middle. And so I'm going to make sure that I sew these together so that the dark pink is going to be on the outside and that light purple is going to form our flying geese. And so we can put these together in strip sets now, just like so, and we'll, chain piece again and sew all 4 of these together. So I'm going to take these to the machine and do that. Okay. All right, we've sewn together all of those strip sets. Now we can cut them back apart. And now I will press these open so they're nice and flat. There we go. So now we have those ready to go. We can set them aside, and now we'll work on our 9 patches for the center. And so in order to do that, we are going to pair these up, and we are going to put our yellow squares with a background each, and then we are going to pair our purples and greens together. And so all of these sets we are going to sew on 2 sides, and I already have some of that done. And so you can see here is my yellow and white. I've stitched on 2 sides. And now we're going to cut this in half and press these open. So I'll press these to the dark side. And then I'm going to lay these so that my yellow is against my background. I'm going to really nest those seams, and then I'm going to sew on these 2 sides. So let's go ahead and take that to the machine and do that. And here's the other side. And now, when we cut this in half, whoops, just like so, we get this great little 4 patch. And so we need 4 of those, 1 for each of our outside corners. So we'll just press that. I have the other set done already. So there are those. And then to make some 2 patches, I've sewn these already, just like I showed you. We are going to cut these in half. And then we are going to turn and cut this in half again. We're not going to stitch this one again. And so then when I open these up, I'm just going to have some great little 2 patches. And it just saves us time instead of having to sew a bunch of little 2.5-inch squares together. So let's go ahead and press these. All open, because we want everything to lay so nice. All right, and so now let's start laying out our 9 patch, because we're going to start our 4 patch here is going to be the outside corner of our 9 patch, And then our darker color is going to come in just like so, and we're going to finish it off with a 2.5-inch background. And so you're going to make every outside corner of your block exactly like that. So you'll sew this to this, this to this, and then those rows together. And then we can lay out our block. And so then we can bring our star leg in just like this. And then we'll just continue building out this block. And so again, here's our outside corner. Our 2-patch would go in here, and you just want to make sure that your colors are chaining throughout the block consistently. That's what you're looking for. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. Here's our little center square that we cut. And our star legs will come in here, and you can totally see, and you'll have this beautiful block that looks just like this. And so just to reiterate, here is our 9-patch in each of our 4 corners. So you're going to go ahead and assemble all of those, and then it will go together in rows. So you've got your 9-patch, your star leg strips, and your 9-patch, star leg strip, center square, star leg strip, and then same with those 9 patches on the bottom. You just want to make sure that your 4 patches are kind of spinning in those outside corners, and you are good to go. And so I just sewed 3 of those big blocks together to make my runner. It comes together super quick. I quilted it in curly twirly flowers, and I even used pink thread, which I think is just really fun on this. And I just love this. I think it's a beautiful block, and I can't wait to see what version you make. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching at home. We're so excited to be almost 1 million quilters strong here at Missouri Star. And so if you haven't already joined our family, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of all of our future tutorials. And we'll see you soon.